You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 6.
New indications that red tide may have reached Manatee County. We'll have the latest on the algae bloom that's making national news. School starts a week from today with state-mandated increased security. We'll have team coverage on all you need to know here on the Suncoast. And before going into labor, a Bradenton woman showed her best dance moves. We'll look at this viral video next on Good Morning Suncoast. Good morning, glad you're with us. I'm Ray Collins. Monday, August the 6th. Stephanie Webb is off today. John Scalzi is also off. Josh Stone is here for details of our Monday forecast.
All right, thanks so much, Ray. Yeah, right now it's 76 degrees. I think most people can handle this type of temperature with mostly clear skies right now. Dew point at 75. The easterly wind, not much, only 5 miles per hour. We're looking at our radar. Not much to show you here. A few speckles of green on it, but that's off the east coast of Florida, and things are kind of drying out as they cross over land. We do have dry air above us that's going to hold the showers and storms at bay, at least for most of the day. Then by later on this afternoon, a few more clouds will develop with the heating of the day, and then we'll have those showers and storms that will pop up and then track towards the coast with the upper level steering winds coming out of the east. As far as our highs today, topping out in the low 90s. Our average is 90, but we're actually going to be above that today. More details on this coming up. Back to you, Rick.
Thank you, Josh. Talk to you soon. Our live camera right now is out and about at a very busy spot during the commute. US 41 at the 301 split. There's the scene right now as the cars are waiting to head farther south there on 41 toward the Bay of Vista and Weber and Siesta Drive direction. We'll check back on that camera in about 15 minutes, but first, here are the traffic maps. First alert traffic showing a little buildup there on 301 northbound, also on State Road 70 eastbound out by the interstate. Otherwise, not too bad so far this morning. Farther south, here's the northern half of Sarasota County. Some buildup there on Clark Road westbound at the bend at Swift Road. Otherwise, pretty clear. And then our final map to the south, not much to speak of except that little nagging spot there on 41 southbound in Northport as you pass by Warm Mineral Springs. School begins 1 week from today, and we have team coverage this week to get families ready. School districts have to have increased security due to a state mandate. Sarasota County went with a new police department. Manatee County has a so-called Guardian program. Marla Spence kicks off her coverage profiling this Guardian program. Marla?
Good morning, Ray. As parents get their kids ready for the new school year, the big question is whether or not Manatee County school guardians will be ready in just 1 week. The Manatee County School District tells us although guardians are in training right now and won't be ready until the second week of school, they are excited about the quality of their guardians and are confident that they will be ready to protect and serve. So far, the school district tells us they have selected 40 in total, 38 guardians and 2 lead guardians. Their job is to make sure students, faculty, and staff are safe this year from any threats. 80% of Manatee County guardians are men and women with a background in law enforcement and military experience. The first set of 20 guardians are now in training and won't be ready until the second week of school, and that's when the second group of 20 guardians will start their training. For parents wondering what security measures will be in place until then, well, law enforcement and security resource officers will be on campuses throughout the district until those guardians are completely done with training and pass their precision firearms qualifications.
The majority of it is firearms training, precision pistol training, simulator training, doing active shooter training, and actually basic firearms proficiency training.
Now, once those guardians are completely done with their training, there will be at least one guardian or one school resource officer at each of 50 campuses within the Manatee County School District. Coming up in the next half hour, we will continue our back to school coverage. Our Jackie Kelly will tell us about security measures for Sarasota County schools. Ray?
All right, thank you, Marla. Speaking of school security, at Stoneman Douglas High School in Broward County, metal detectors will not be installed for the start of classes. Broward County Public Schools sent a letter to parents telling them plans are on hold for now with metal detectors. Officials previously said students would no longer have to use see-through backpacks when they return to school, but that may change during an upcoming security meeting that is scheduled for this week near that school. For the latest on this story and breaking news and your forecast, check out our new app. It's at the App Store under WWSB or My Suncoast. Well, the big story of the past week, everyone's talking about, of course, red tide in Sarasota County. But now we're hearing there are some sightings and some smells in Manatee County. Our Erica Jackson has the story.
Florida Fish and Wildlife tells us it hasn't tested local waters this weekend to confirm a red tide presence, but it seems to have reached Manatee County beaches.
The streets have just been slowly clearing up since the day before yesterday.
Visitors on Anna Maria Island are trying to steer clear of this. Thousands of dead fish. Island Time Inn manager Robin Forsyth says some customers are canceling their reservations at the 6-room motel to avoid the dead fish and strong odor coming from the Gulf.
We're always doing well, but this really hits us hard.
Victims include local beaches, restaurants, and hotels like the Island Time Inn. The suspect, a red tide algae bloom found in background concentrations of Manatee County water samples by Florida Fish and Wildlife on Friday.
Right now it's not that bad. It's not a whole bunch of fish laying out there. So this beach is still like our little humbleizer.
Mote Marine Laboratory updated its beach conditions report Sunday afternoon, noting dark water and high levels of dead fish on Coquina Beach with moderate respiratory irritation. Further north on Manatee Beach, Mote reports some dead fish and dark water with intense respiratory irritation. Dead fish weren't visible everywhere on those beaches, but they could be spotted in the intercoastal under the Cortez Bridge.
Oftentimes, it's just a matter of when you walk out what it's like. So there's really no way to prepare.
Some beachfront businesses noticed an increase in customers when red tide moved up Sarasota County shores. Now they wonder if they're next.
Hopefully it can just bypass us.
FWC is expected to release its next red tide report Wednesday, but Mote updates its beach conditions report daily. We have that link for you on our website, mysuncoast.com. Reporting on Anna Maria Island, Erica Jackson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
We have been covering this crisis from every angle on our website. Log on to mysuncoast.com for the latest on your most frequently asked questions on this ongoing issue. New this morning, Yosemite National Park is closed indefinitely due to the Ferguson wildfire. Park officials say increased fire activity is the reason for the extended closure. All of the roads used to access Yosemite have been impacted by the blaze. Trees in the area could fall without warning due to the fires nearby. The fire has burned 89,000 acres and is only about 38% contained. Plans for a new hospital in Venice are moving forward. The Sarasota County Planning Commission has approved the rezoning of land for a new Venice Regional Bayfront Health Facility. It will be located right here east of the Jacaranda Roundabout on Venice Avenue. The hospital still has months to go, though, before it can begin construction. Next up, the County Commission will need to approve the changing of the land use designation. Venice Regional will also need to get a site and development plan and an alternative parking plan approved as well. On a lighter note now, a Bradenton mother-to-be went viral for dancing in the hallways of Manatee Memorial before going into labor. Watch this.
Been pregnant for way too long. I tell her to turn it off.
You can watch this one all day, right? 65,000 views on Facebook, 1,000 likes. Alicia tells us how the big response has been since this video was posted.
It's been super positive, super awesome. A lot of people have reached out that like, wow, Bradenton, how cool is this for Bradenton? A lot of people have reached out about Manatee Memorial nurses, labor and delivery nurses. When I tell you, these women are superheroes without capes, they are superheroes without capes. They are incredible. I don't know how they do what they do. It's been a great, great, great outreach, positive outreach. Everyone's been so positive.
Interesting sidebar, by the way. Alicia was actually delivered in that same room at the hospital. And Josh Stone says he might be doing that dance during the weather coming up. 6:09 right now, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. New details on the assassination attempt on the president of Venezuela and what he is now saying, linking the attack to the U.S. and Colombia. That story on the way when we come back. Here's a peek outside our studios just before daybreak. Another hot one on the way. Josh Stone.
I think I mastered churning the butter, Ray. You know, churning the butter.
Very good.
Is that how we work?
Don't pull a muscle.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's all in the rotator cuff here. I got to be careful. All right, 76 right now in Sarasota, 78 in Bradenton, 77 in Venice with mostly clear skies. Our radar is quiet, and that's going to be the case throughout the morning and then most of the afternoon. Then later on this afternoon, a few clouds develop, and we'll have our chance for some shower activity, maybe some thunderstorms. But highs today are going to be warm in the low 90s and above the average high 90s. So we could be around 93 here in Sarasota. Talk more about this, have the 7-day outlook and the latest on the tropics when I come back. Stay with us.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell Hospice, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Hello, Mom. Amanda's mom's appointment just got rescheduled for today. Amanda needs right at home. Our customized care plan provides as much or as little help as her mom requires, whether it's a ride to the doctor or help around the house.
Oh, of course. Tom, I am really sorry. I've got to go.
Look, call right at home. Get the right care right at home.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Like ABC7 on Facebook to stay connected to the team you trust.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Josh Stone for John Scalzi today. Make it a wonderful Monday, not a manic Monday. And looks like our weather is going to be pretty quiet on this Monday morning. Nothing to show you here on the radar, at least for the morning hours. Then by this afternoon, we could see a few storms that develop. Right now, it's 76 degrees outside, dew point 75, and not much of a wind out of the east at 5 miles per hour. But that's the story with that easterly wind around an area of high pressure. when the heating of the day occurs in the afternoon, then the clouds will develop, and the steering winds out of the east will help some of these storms that develop inland blow right towards the coast. Expect partly cloudy skies later on this afternoon, and it's going to be another warm one with highs topping out in the low 90s. Our average high is 90. We could actually be above that. Yesterday, we topped out at 95, so it was quite warm. Isolated afternoon storms will develop, and looks like the weekend is going to be very sunny. Check out the water vapor imagery. The tan colors over the peninsula show us where that dry air is, and there's plenty of it, so that's going to limit the widespread shower activity in our forecast. Area of high pressure to our northeast, whip around flow coming in from the east, and those winds, the steering winds, will help, like I said, push the storms that develop this afternoon towards the coast. So by early to mid-evening hours, I think the storms will blow offshore and then slowly start to dissipate. Here's our futurecast. We'll put this into motion. You can see with the heating of the day, these storms start to fire up, and the general flow pushes from east to west, and a few scattered showers early this evening, even some rumbles of thunder, and they blow offshore into the Gulf of Mexico, and everything remains quiet. If you're flying from the Suncoast up to, say, Chicago, maybe out to Denver, well, they're under a slight risk of severe weather this afternoon, but for us, just general showers and storms. Speaking of general showers and storms, of course, we're in hurricane season, and the month of August, things start to ramp up here, but the only thing we can find in the North Atlantic is this little flare up here, and the National Hurricane Center only has a 20% chance of this developing in anything, and this is the Northern Atlantic, and it is moving towards the north over cooler waters, so we don't anticipate much out of this. However, this is just out of interest. Let's shift our attention across the other pond into the Pacific Ocean here, where we actually have a couple of tropical storms off the coast of Mexico, but this one in particular looks quite interesting. It's more than a tropical storm. It's actually a Category 4 hurricane, and with winds of 140 miles per hour, it's moving towards Hawaii. Now, this is going to be the big story, or at least the big weather story of this week, as this potentially clips the southern edge of Hawaii. And remember, the strongest part of these storms are in the front right quadrant, and if it passes to the south, Hawaii is going to get whiplash pretty good. In fact, Hawaii is under hurricane warning right now. We'll monitor this. Doesn't affect the Suncoast, but it's just out of interest. For the beachgoers, well, if you can handle the red tide, which is not good, obviously, but it's a pretty good boating forecast. Easterly, northeasterly wind at 10 knots, seas 1 to 2 feet offshore, with a light chop in the bays. High today topping out at 93, mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. Afternoon storms will get going later on today. And same situation for tomorrow and Wednesday. Then the rain chance lessens on Thursday and Friday. We'll have mostly sunny skies into Saturday as well. And then by Sunday, the latter part of the weekend into early next week, the rain chance does increase, and we'll have more clouds in our forecast. Back to you, Ray.
All right, thank you, Josh. 6:17 right now. There's a shot of Manatee County, some issues there on 14th Street West in the southbound lanes as you go from 53rd down toward Bayshore Gardens. Also 301 southbound around State Road 70. Farther south now, the northern half of Sarasota County. Earlier issues have since cleared up, no problems there. Our South County map will show a problem 41 northbound as you go from Nokomis toward the 681 connector. And we do have some breaking news in traffic right now. You'll notice an issue there on 41. We have just found out the road is blocked from Cochran Boulevard to Enterprise Drive due to a two-vehicle fatal accident in Charlotte County that happened in the past hour. We'll have details of this story throughout the morning, but you want to avoid 41 between Cochran and Enterprise in Charlotte County due to a two-vehicle crash that left at least one person dead. And now to the alleged assassination attempt of Venezuela's president on live TV. Nicolas Maduro was speaking in a public square when he was interrupted by a series of blasts. At the sound of the explosion, soldiers and military bands broke ranks and scattered for cover this morning. Now watch them scatter here. You don't see this too often. This morning, President Maduro is calling the assassination attempt by drones. Drones, those things that fly. The socialist government has detained 6 suspects and is now saying they conspired with others, including, he says, in Miami. New this morning in New Mexico, witnesses described the conditions as heartbreaking, where police found 11 starving children. And as reporter Andrew Spencer tells us, a 3-year-old is still missing.
Practically in the middle of nowhere, a small travel trailer buried in the ground and covered with plastic. Stacked tires form the outer walls of this compound where authorities searched for 3-year-old Abdul Ghani Wahaj, but they didn't find him. They did, however, find his father, Siraj Wahaj, who had a warrant out of Georgia related to his missing son. At the compound, police say they also found 11 starving children and 3 women believed to be their mothers.
No running water, no electricity. They were in bad shape.
The sheriff of Taos County, New Mexico, called it heartbreaking. He says the children looked like refugees. No food, no fresh water, no shoes or means of personal hygiene, wearing what the sheriff described as basically dirty rags.
It was disheartening to see that in this day and age that people could live that way.
The only food deputies found was a box of rice and a few potatoes. They found plenty of weapons, though, 4 handguns and a rifle, and the sheriff's office says lots of ammunition. Deputies arrested Wahaj and another man, Lucas Morton, who is now being charged with harboring a fugitive. But the big question left unanswered here is, where is 3-year-old Abdul Ghani? I'm Andrew Spencer, reporting.
Still ahead, a look at a dramatic rock climbing rescue involving dozens of first responders, plus a preview of the first day of school next week. We've got team coverage. First off, Jackie Kelly.
We'll tell you more about the new police force Sarasota County school districts have for this upcoming school year.
All right, talk to you soon, Jackie. Thank you. 6:21 the time right now as day begins to break on the horizon here on the Suncoast. Should be a nice day. Hot one, though. High of 93 today. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
My California Closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs, stop the crimes.
Cancer doesn't run in my family. That really was the farthest thing from my mind. I've been an athlete my whole life, and I work in sports, so my mindset was just, let's fight. So our stories are all unique, so whatever you're going through, ask questions, get information, and be involved. Don't ignore the signs. Join the fight. I'm Tony Beasley, and I'm a stage 2 colorectal cancer survivor.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Welcome back. 6:24 right now. Live shot of New York City in the Empire State Building. Pretty shot there. They'll see a high in New York today of 91 degrees. Dozens of first responders pulled off a dramatic rescue of a young girl who got stuck while rock climbing in Minnesota. ABC's Gio Benitez has our story.
I'm good.
In this morning's GMA First Look, Scarlett Erickson is one lucky teen, now thanking the man who helped save her life.
I can't believe that your knee's okay, which it looks like it's great.
The two reunited on firm ground, quite a different setting than their first meeting Wednesday. The 13-year-old was clinging on for dear life after a rock climbing trip with her summer camp in Sandstone, Minnesota, took a turn for the worse.
I was climbing up, and there's big rock that I kind of had to get over to get to the top, and I gave myself a big boost, but then my knee got stuck in one of the cracks. The crack was more of like a V shape, and so it just fell down into that.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have more on this dramatic rescue. With your GMA First Look, I'm Gio Benitez, ABC News, New York.
Salads should look like this. Crisp leaves of lettuce, freshly made dressing. Clean food that looks this good. Delivered to your desk. Now delivering to home or office. Panera, food as it should be.
Welcome to Tide Pods Talk with Gronk. I'm Gronk. I'm big and awesome, but this guy is little. Can it really clean? Heck yeah, it can. It's concentrated detergent plus stain fighters plus odor fighters that fight for clean. Boom! Ugh. Even this entire bottle can't beat Tide Pods. And now a word from future Gronk. Ugh. Tide Pods. If it's clean, it's got to be Tide.
Before people invite something new into their homes, they want to know who you are. We're Almond Breeze, and we only use California-grown Blue Diamond almonds in our almond milk, cared for by our family of almond growers. Blue Diamond Almond Breeze. The best almonds make the best almond milk.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Planning a Carnival Fantasy Cruise out of Mobile? Then check out the park and cruise packages at the luxurious Battle House and Renaissance Riverview Plaza hotels. Stay at the Battle House for $169 per night or the Riverview Plaza for just $149 per night and leave your car for the duration of your cruise. Includes transportation to and from the cruise terminal. If you're cruising out of Mobile, come stay with us. Call 1-800-MARRIOTT or visit Marriott.com now.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now, we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos. To use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
You are the best protection she has. Buddy up. I'm Jill Harrington. Please visit HelpSaveTheNextGirl.com and get involved.
It's rainy season on the Suncoast. Storms can pop up at a moment's notice. Sometimes it's just rain. Sometimes it's much worse. When there's the potential for severe weather, you need to know fast. Trust ABC 7 First Alert Weather to get you the information you need right away. We focus on the storms that impact where you live, and we're committed to alerting you with important information as soon as we get it. When severe weather strikes, trust ABC 7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
ABC 7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 6:30.
Today, a rare chance to see all 8 Sarasota County School Board candidates. We'll tell you about a forum later today in downtown Sarasota. School resumes 1 week from today. We'll have team coverage on how each district prepares for state-mandated increased security. And it's officially spiny lobster season. We'll have all the rules and regulation you need before you can get cracking. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. Good morning. It is 6:30, Monday, August the 6th. I'm Ray Collins. Stephanie Webb is off today. So is John Scalzi. Josh Stone joins us now with details of our Monday weather.
All right, thanks so much, Ray. Yeah, temperatures right now, I think most of us can handle it. Mid-70s around the Suncoast on this Monday morning. As we look at our radar, there's nothing to show you here. We have quiet conditions. Actually, we have dry air above us that's kind of capping out the atmosphere, so any sort of shower activity will be limited, at least for the morning hours. Later on this afternoon, we'll have the heating of the day and then the sea breeze convergence, and a few storms could pop up, at least starting off inland, and then the upper level winds are coming out of the east, and those should blow those storms towards the coast, so look out for that later on today. But highs, going to be another warm one, topping out in the low 90s. Back to you, Ray.
Thank you, Josh. Talk to you again soon. 6:31 right now. Let's check our maps. Here's the scene first off in Manatee County. You'll notice southbound 301 has some issues as you cross over State Road 70. Otherwise, relatively clear so far today in Manatee County. Checking farther south, a little blip there, just a tiny little blip on Bee Ridge, northbound at the light there near the car wash, 41 northbound. Nothing much though to report so far there. Farther south now into the South County region. Little blip on 41 southbound as you pass in Northport at Warm Mineral Springs. But the big news right now is just south of our viewing area. We'll take a shot of our map there in Charlotte County. There has been a fatal 2-vehicle crash already this morning on 41, a road blocked now from Cochran Boulevard to Enterprise Drive. We have a crew on the way to the scene. A fatal crash at 41 at Veterans. Be aware of that in case you are traveling in that vicinity sometime this morning. Well, it's finally here. 1 week from today, nearly 100,000 students on the Suncoast will head back to class. And now public schools have new state-mandated security measures in place. Our Jackie Kelly joins us now with a profile of what they're doing in Sarasota County schools. Jackie?
Good morning, Ray. The chief tells me that so far they've already hired 25 officers and 3 sergeants for this new police department. However, he says it's still a work in progress. On the first day of school, all 21 elementary schools will have a newly hired officer at their school. Because the police department is still hiring officers this school year, the school resource officers and school resource deputies already in the middle and high schools will remain there as their security. However, the chief says this time next year, the school police department should be fully staffed with at least 1 officer in every school.
Right now, our goal is 1. We're going to have a number of relief officers. We're going to have a detective bureau to vet out any kind of concerns or perceived threats or investigate any kind of offenses that occur on our properties.
Now the chief tells me 24 years is the average amount of experience for these new hires. And while some are local, others are coming from places like New York City and Chicago. Reporting live in Sarasota, Jackie Kelly, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you, Jackie. Your chance now to meet the 8 candidates running for Sarasota County School Board. Happening today, all 8 are invited to a forum at Selby Library, 5 o'clock, open to the public in downtown Sarasota. They'll take part in an informal meet and greet, followed by a forum where they'll answer questions and then audience questions as well. Districts 1, 4, and 5 are on the ballot this year. Candidates from District 1 include Nick Guy on the left and the incumbent Bridget Ziegler, the school chair, on the right. We asked both of them why they choose to run again.
It's transparency, fiscal accountability, and ensuring that there's a voice for parents at the board.
Keeping our kids safe has always been the most important thing that any leader in a school district has to consider, but that's more important now than ever.
All this week at 7 o'clock, you can hear more from these Sarasota candidates on our show at 7 p.m. They'll answer questions. That includes Ziegler and Guy in District 1, Shirley Brown and Karen Rose in District 4, and then Jane Goodwin, Rick Linden, Pamela Gavatt, and Justin Cody Willis in District 5. For the latest on the back-to-school issues and breaking news, check out our app. It's in the App Store under My Suncoast or under WWSB. An update now on that double homicide in Bradenton. The 17-year-old suspect, Joe Claire Juste, was found in Denver and has since been brought back to Manatee County. Here he is. They arrested him days after the crime. He is accused of shooting and killing 18-year-old Caleb Bowman and also 18-year-old Kamundry Pittman. Back in July, Bowman died at the hospital while Pittman died behind the shopping plaza on Cortez Road West. Police believe that the suspect knew the victims and there was a dispute over the issue of drugs. Ohio State's investigation of the head football coach, Urban Meyer, should be wrapped up in about 2 weeks. Meyer, of course, also coached Florida. He's currently on paid leave while investigators look into whether he was aware of a 2015 domestic violence allegation against a former assistant coach, Zach Smith, who has since been fired. Meyer acknowledged knowing about a 2009 incident, but he says he didn't know about the 2015 one. Now, if it's found he did know about it, he could be fired with cause. Edible Sarasota magazine and 10 of Sarasota's nationally renowned chefs came together for an event last night at Louis Modern, all about sustainable seafood dinners. The event was an opportunity to taste invasive and underutilized seafood species and also ask questions. Another question for chefs: how red tide is impacting local restaurants.
The red tide's not really affecting the restaurants right now, except for the visitors that are coming. Most of the fish, I'd say 95, 99% of the fish that we're using in our restaurants are caught 50 miles offshore, a lot of it from the Atlantic coast too. And most of the shallow water fishing, which is really where the effects are, we're not touching that.
Proceeds from the event will go toward Chefs Collaborative, a national nonprofit with a mission of inspiring and educating chefs to build a better food system. All right, fishermen, get cracking. The regular commercial and recreational lobster season starts today, and that's good for both anglers and seafood lovers. Just don't forget your license and lobster permit. For a link on these, you can go to our website at mysuncoast.com. Health news now. School starts a week from today, and there are steps you can take to make sure kids make the transition successfully from summertime back to the classroom. Doctors say, for starters, wean your kids off those screens. Cut back on TV time, iPads, cell phones. Research shows kids that spend too much time looking at screens have a difficult time paying attention to their teachers. Also, talk to kids about fears and bullying. Many kids are apprehensive about going back to school, so it's important to be aware of where their minds are. Lastly, set a routine early. It will help them feel rested and prepared for the new school year. It's also National Immunization Month, and the Department of Health Advisors wants to remind parents to get kids vaccinated before the school year starts. The state health department says updated vaccines are required K through 7 in all Florida schools. A completed DH-680 form is required in Sarasota schools. Students who don't have those will be sent home. In addition, they will not be able to take part in extracurriculars either until those forms are received. 6:38 right now. Don't forget the State Department of Health in Sarasota County will offer extended hours in their Northport and Sarasota clinics for students who need those back-to-school shots. In fact, on Wednesday, the clinic on Ringling Boulevard will stay open until 7:30 p.m. And on Thursday and Friday, it stays open until 7 p.m. For more clinics and extended hours, check out our website on this story. It's at mysuncoast.com. Still ahead in Good Morning Suncoast, the devastating earthquake in Indonesia that has so far killed 91 people. It's not the first time it happened there recently. We'll check back on that after the break. But first, here's a look outside our studio where a nice sky is developing there. Should be another hot one outside. Details of the forecast from Josh Stone.
All right, Ray. Yeah, mostly clear skies right now. We have high pressure in control, dry air above us, easterly wind. So what can we expect for the rest of the day? Well, right now, as you just saw, clear skies, temperatures in the mid-70s. The radar is quiet, but later on this afternoon, with the sea breeze convergence, the heating of the day, a few clouds will develop and some showers will get going inland, and then the upper level easterly steering winds will bring those storms closer to the coast. Our highs are going to top out in the low 90s. It'll be another warm one, and I'll let you know what the rest of the week will look like in just a little bit. Let's go back to Ray.
Hey, let's show you some live shots around the world. Here's a live picture right now of the White House at 6:40 a.m. Looks pretty quiet there right now. Should be another hot day in D.C. We'll have a local forecast and more news coming up on Good Morning Suncoast.
My California Closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
What do you get when you cross your tired, aching back with this fragile egg? The Egg Sitter Cushion, an amazing new flex cushion that supports your backside and spine so well you can sit on an egg without breaking it. Incredible!
You want me to sit on this egg? Okay. I can't believe I'm doing this. I don't even feel it. It didn't even break? Oh, I was wondering about that. Now that's a good cushion.
The honeycomb design is constructed of Elasticor that absorbs pressure points by collapsing in on itself. That's why even this egg won't break under direct pressure. Now long days at the office will be more comfortable, dinner more enjoyable, and painful car rides a thing of the past. Get your Egg Sitter Support Cushion for just $39.99. It comes with a free non-slip washable cover and our 10-year comfort guarantee. But wait, call right now and you can get a second cushion. Just pay separate fee. Call now.
Call 1-800-232-1564. That's 1-800-232-1564. Call now or go to eggsitter.com. Order now.
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. I survived my cancer, but you can stop cancer before it starts. Talk to your doctor and go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5.
All right, so good to see you on this Monday morning. I'm meteorologist Josh Stone in for John Scalzi today. He has the day off. And we're looking at our radar right now, and there's really not much to show you here. Little activity off the east coast of Florida, some activity in the open waters of the Gulf of Mexico off the southwest coast of Florida. But here along the Suncoast, everything remains very quiet on this Monday morning. Little change maybe later this afternoon with the heating of the day and the sea breeze convergence could ignite some storms, and they could be coming towards the coast. But right now, everything is quiet. 76 is our current temperature outside here in downtown Sarasota. Easterly wind at 5 miles per hour, not much of a wind at all. So mostly sunny to begin our day, then becoming partly cloudy this afternoon. It's going to be another warm one with highs topping out in the low 90s. Yesterday, our high was actually 95 degrees and our average is 90, so above the mark there. And then this afternoon, few isolated storms will get going, track towards the coast. They'll dissipate by the mid-evening hours, and then we're calling for a sunny weekend. We have dry air above the peninsula right now, shows up in tan here in the water vapor imagery, and the driving force of this is this area of high pressure to the north and east of Florida. I'll show you that in just a second. Just to show you the forecast if you're flying out of SRQ Airport today, going to Atlanta, LaGuardia, O'Hare, Charlotte, no issues at all. Here's that area of high pressure I was talking about to the northeast of Florida, and the return flow around it, clockwise rotation, as the winds always are around an area of high pressure, driving those upper level easterly winds. And again, with the heating of the day, the sea breeze convergence, the storms could develop inland, and then the steering upper level winds will bring those storms towards the coast. Again, we showed you the dry air, and that's pretty much dominating here on top of us. That's going to limit the shower activity to become widespread. So today, just expect isolated storms to develop, and a few storms could get going close to Arcadia, maybe in Charlotte County as well. And then as they get to the coast, they won't be as strong, I don't think, and then dropping a little bit of rainfall, but they'll move swiftly out into the Gulf of Mexico. Speaking of storms, let's talk about what's happening in the tropics. We're now in August. This is hurricane season. August traditionally happens to be an active part of the season as we ramp up close to September 10th, which is the peak of the season. Well, the North Atlantic, we do have a flare up here. National Hurricane Center only has this of being a 20% chance of developing in anything. It is moving towards the north. We have cooler waters. Not much going on here. By the way, the Atlantic waters are very cool right now, and also we have dust in the air, and the upper level winds from a weak El Nino are taking place, so that's kind of limited the tropical activity. A little different story in the Pacific. We actually have a couple of tropical storms off of the coast of Mexico, and this in particular is not a tropical storm. It's actually a Category 4 hurricane. This, just out of interest, obviously it's not going to affect the Suncoast, but it has sustained winds of 140 miles per hour, and it is tracking close to Hawaii, should pass to the south of it. But remember, the front right part of these storms are the most powerful, and if it passes to the south of Hawaii, this could clip Hawaii pretty good. So we'll be watching this, not affecting us, but it could be a big weather story as we go through this week. For the forecast, as we get into tomorrow and Wednesday, 30% chance of showers and storms in the afternoon. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that shower chance lessens. We're only about a 20% chance and mostly sunny skies. And as we get in the latter part of this upcoming weekend into early next week, the shower chance and storms do increase, and we're calling for mostly cloudy skies then. But today, just a few storms in the afternoon. Partly cloudy in the afternoon, and then those storms will get going, and that's going to be the case over the next couple of days. Back to you, Ray.
All right, thank you, Josh. Talk to you again soon. 6:47 right now. Here's the scene in Manatee County. Some buildup on Manatee Avenue West in the eastbound lane as you come off the beaches there. Also 301, particularly southbound around Whitfield. And checking our next map to the south, here's the northern half of Sarasota County. Some red there on Fruitville, eastbound at Honore, Bee Ridge, eastbound around Beneva. And then our next map to the south will show nothing so far there, but we do have a fatal crash to report as we dip farther south into Charlotte County and Murdoch. You'll see there At 41, the road is still blocked from Cochran Boulevard to Enterprise Drive, a fatal crash involving 2 vehicles. We have a crew on the way to the scene. We'll have details on this story throughout the morning here on ABC 7. Look at this, a new way to get around town. An Amish man in Michigan is putting a new spin on ride sharing. He gives customers a lift with his horse and buggy. Yeah, riders like it. Steve Phelps says he enjoyed the ride.
First time Uber and we're riding in a buggy.
They call it Amish Uber, and for just $5 you can get a memorable cab experience, certainly cheaper than what you'd get in Central Park. 6:49 right now. The actress known as Mrs. Garrett on the 80s sitcom Different Strokes has passed away. Charlotte Rae, also known for playing the same role on Facts of Life, a spin-off of Different Strokes. Her son said she passed away peacefully at her home in Los Angeles, surrounded by family. Charlotte Rae was 92 years old. For the second time in a week, a powerful earthquake has rocked Indonesia's resort islands, this one stronger and deadlier than last week's. The epicenter of the 6.9 quake was on the popular island of Lombok, but tremors were felt in neighboring Bali as well. At least 91 people are dead, hundreds others injured. Officials say thousands of buildings were damaged during the main quake and by several significant aftershocks as well. Up next, your top 7 headlines before 7 a.m. Also, Josh Stone's forecast and a look at traffic as well. 6:50 right now. Peek outside our studios. Trust us, that's from here. And that's how the sky is looking right now from the Rosemary District. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
We've been fighting the war on drugs for a long time. We answer the phone 24/7, 365 days a year. On a busy night, we answer hundreds of calls. This war on drugs needs our intervention.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has helped people struggling with drugs and alcohol.
When the phone rings, we help people when they need it the most. When we get a caller into treatment, it feels right. It feels good. It's a blessing.
If you're struggling, drinking, using, and need to get clean, don't suffer alone in silence. Call Addiction Hope and Helpline.
Our people understand, and many are also in recovery. Call for support and strength. You can call for someone who can't or isn't willing. It's an act of love. Together we can help you beat this thing and erase addiction from your vocabulary once and for all.
Call 800-871-1644. 800-871-1644.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC 7 shows on your streaming device.
Welcome back. Here are the top 7 headlines now before 7 a.m. starting with Josh Stone's First Alert forecast.
Ray, it's going to be another warm one today. Highs topping out 93 degrees. Expect mostly sunny skies, becoming partly cloudy in the afternoon. A few showers and storms will get going. A couple of days of this, and then by the end of the work week into the weekend, our rain chance lessens and we have mostly sunny skies. All right, let's go back to Ray for number 2.
Number 2 is traffic. We do have a fatal crash to report just south of our viewing area. This is in Port Charlotte, US 41 at Veterans Boulevard. Fatal crash early this morning, now leaving the road blocked from Cochran Boulevard to Enterprise Drive. This on US 41 in Charlotte County. No other issues right now to report on the Suncoast. Number 3, school begins a week from today, and we're going to have team coverage all this week here on Good Morning Suncoast. Today we talked about the different approaches to school security in Sarasota and Manatee County. Tomorrow we'll talk about teacher and bus driver shortages as tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast. Number 4, happening today, your chance to meet the 8 candidates running for Sarasota County School Board. All 8 are invited to a forum at Selby Library, 5 o'clock today in downtown Sarasota. Number 5, for fishermen, it's officially spiny lobster season. Must get your license and lobster permit first. For a link to where you can get those, along with what you need to know about fishing regulations and where to harvest, go to our website, mysuncoast.com. Number 6, an update on that double homicide in Bradenton. Detectives say they found their suspect, 17-year-old Joe Claire-Just, in Denver. They say he knew the 2 18-year-old victims, and they had a dispute, they say, over the issue of drugs. And finally, controversy over the house that was used in the bump back shots during the Brady Bunch. Here's that house in Studio City. We told you last month it was up for sale. Now, that singer Lance Bass says he wants the house, but realtors used his name to jack up the price, and he says he's heartbroken now. A corporation is now involved that is willing to pay any price. You know, it really wasn't the house that was used. The house inside was just a set. That exterior, no one's ever there. It's just a generic house they chose to show.
Yeah, I guess so. You know, you're seeing the show, you know, there's no toilet in any of the episodes. In that bathroom, it's just a sink, and that's it.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
What shows did you used to watch when you got home from school as a kid?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was the Brady Bunch, then the Monkees came on after that. These are reruns, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Gilligan's Island was another one.
Yeah, Leave It to Beaver.
Leave It to Beaver, yep.
Partridge Family.
Partridge Family, that's right. I'm trying to think.
I Love Lucy.
I Love Lucy, and then of course the Honeymooners came on at night. Reruns of those. Those are fun.
All good stuff. On that note, have a great day, folks. We'll see you tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast. Our next update comes your way at 7:25.